Hey, what's up, guys? Nick here with Overage Syndicate. Today I'm going to answer a question for you about KPIs, or if you don't know what that means, key performance indicators is what KPI stands for. And so a lot of people, what this refers to is how many people do you need to talk to in order to close a deal? Or how many calls you have to make, or how many contacts. So this is a great question, and I don't think I've touched on this here on the channel. And so one thing you want to focus on in the business is not the number of calls you make, but the number of conversations you have, okay? Again, don't focus on how many calls you make, focus on the number of conversations you have, okay? Because it doesn't do you any good to make 100 phone calls if you don't talk to anyone. That won't get you anywhere. And so I focus on conversations had. And so for me, now this is for me personally, and I've obviously been doing this for a little while, so I have some experience, and I've tweaked my processes over time, and I continue to change my processes if I find that something works better than something else, okay? So it's always evolving, but for me personally, and my phone's ringing, just leave the room. So for me personally, if I talk to 10 people, okay? So I talk to 10 people, I'm going to get a deal from those 10 people, okay? So let me say that again, and I apologize for the phone. I should probably should have stopped the video, but whatever. If I talk to 10 people, I know I'm going to get a deal, possibly even 2, maybe more if it's really good. So basically, for every 10 people I talk to, I'll get a deal. Now, if you're a beginner in the business, I would say stay conservative and plan to talk to at least 20, 30, maybe even 40 people before you get your first deal. Because you're not sure, right? You're new to the business, you're unsure of what to say, you're nervous, and that's okay. You just start. You're not going to be perfect when you begin, but you start anyway, and then you get better as time goes on. So if you have no experience in real estate, if you're just getting started, plan to talk to 20, 30, maybe even 40 people or more before you get your first deal. But for me, it's 1 out of 10. So the question then is, you just have to ask yourself, is it worth it for you to talk to possibly 40 people to make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or more? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is it worth your time? And so those are my KPIs as far as phone calls go. So if I talk to 10 people, I'll get a deal. And my success rate as far as deals is 70 to 80%. So when I file a claim, there's a 70 to 80% chance that that's going to pay out. Now, what happened to that other 20 to 30%? How come they don't get paid out? It could be because I messed up, I made a mistake, I didn't research the debt, or, there's been times where we signed up the wrong person because we were quick and we weren't as thorough as we should have been. Sometimes I already mentioned debts, if we miss something in our research. Those are probably the top main things. And so I've made mistakes. I don't have a 100% success rate because I've made mistakes as I've learned it with time. So, and especially, if we're working in new areas, sometimes it's not an area we're used to, and we have to change our process a little bit. But here's one thing about this, guys, is if you do mess up on the paperwork, usually depending on where you're working, but usually there's a way to fix the issue and resubmit. Not always, but usually. So don't be what I'm trying to say is, don't be worried about making mistakes, because you're going to make them. Now you can, eliminate or try to mitigate the amount of mistakes you make by investing in, education and stuff like that. But just understand you're going to make mistakes. So, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, going over KPIs, focus on conversations you have, the amount of people you talk to, because this is very much a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more deals you'll do. Yeah, if you have, if you need help, I give out my script that I use to all my students, so that they can have that to reference when they're talking to people, and help them close more deals. And I think that's all I have for you. So if you have questions, let me know below. Continue to answer them when I can, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys.